South Florida real estate prices are dropping in different cities, and we will be evaluating like top 3 cities what kind of price drops are happening, and I'm going to show you the real values from MLS, real graphs, like what is actually happening in last 3 to 4 months. So stay tuned and make sure you watch this video till the end, because this is going to give you a really great idea if you're looking to buy in South Florida. For example, cities like Parkland, Weston, and Boca Raton. These top 3 cities we are going to target today to evaluate the real estate market behind the scene. Let's start.
Always think of you when spring comes, like it's something in the air at that time. Don't know why. Always dream of you when spring comes. It's like the heat on my skin takes me back to the time met you on a Friday, halfway out at the door of the club, playing soul on the week.
This is Komal Acharya. Welcome to my channel Moving to Florida, or welcome back to my channel Moving to Florida now. If you are watching these videos, thank you so much for giving the support. And if you're new on this channel will give you really great idea about the Florida pros and cons, best place to live, or even the real estate market. That's a hot topic right now, what's going on, where if you're looking to relocate, you need to be aware about. So before we waste any more time, let's start this video. So let's start with the top 3 city which I'm going to talk. So number 1 is Parkland. Parkland is amazing city in Broward County where a lot of relocation happened last 3 years. Not only the relocation from other states, but the people who are locally live here, it's kind of favorite city for them to migrate themselves at some point in life because of the great school system. And Parkland has a great variety of the houses because it does have a little bit of new builds, majority houses built after 2000. So overall, the Parkland city is very brand new city of Broward County, and which is very rare because Broward County has a very few new construction homes. And I would say new construction, even the built after 2010, that's also kind of falls into the criteria of the new builds, because the South Florida has been always low in inventory for the new builds. So Parkland does give a great varieties with the same prices which offers in Boca or Weston, and that's why people like it. Parkland, that was one of the major factor where people want to live there. And another major factor is the neighborhood, the community feel. There are so many advantages of Parkland, and also the landscape, like how the city is maintained, that's at another level. So if you see the drone shots and the community shots which I'm sharing here, that gives you an idea what kind of houses and what kind of communities you can find in Parkland. So Parkland prices had been skyrocketed last 3 years, and it's been really crazy where one house comes in a market, in a few hours they would have like 15 offers, and next day they have to make a decision because all the realtors are banging the head of listing agent. And it's kind of become a trend in last 3 years that, let's say someone puts in a market on Thursday, there's a coming soon, they don't even allow the showing, and Saturday, Sunday there's an open house. There will be like 80 people in the open house without any putting much extra efforts, because it's very few inventory in Parkland, and Parkland is one of the very famous city, as I told you guys. So a lot of attraction from the buyers Parkland had in last 3 years. Not only this market, but before pre-pandemic also, the Parkland is one of the famous suburb town. So in a weekend, for example, after the open house, they would have 30 offers in hand, and most of the offers are selected based on a cash offers and waiving the inspection. When there's a cash offer, automatically you waive appraisal. So technically, so many strong offers the seller would receive, and literally the realtors were beating on each other, and you won't even know your number where it is going to stop. So overall, if I say more than asking price, most of the properties were going like 10 to 15% higher than the value. So that's what pushed the market going up and up, and that actually happened to every single city. But some, percentage wise much higher in these three cities which I mentioned, Parkland, Western, and Boca, compared to some other cities, because these three have a more higher demands comparatively. So this is the picture, last 3 years what happened, but now what we see, lot of changes are happening, very quick changes are happening. That's really amazed me, because as soon as the interest rate went up, a lot of buyers literally kind of started thinking about it, and they literally backed out. A lot of cancellation also started happening, even though property were under contract. So those changes kind of affected last 3 months market, and that's where we are going to evaluate how the prices are fluctuating and what kind of price drops we are seeing actually in the market.
So before we go more deeper into Parkland city market itself, let me show you some good data. So if you this is MLS, this contains the South Florida few counties. So for example, if you see the new listings are around 2,800 change, and the price decrease is around 2,500, which is very, very close to your new listings. And this number is very hardly you see. And I've been monitoring this data since this market has been showing the changes. And if you check in July, it was a little bit of bigger number than right now in September. So definitely, you see that overall, every city or every county is showing change on price drops. So now let's focus more specific to Parkland. So if you check here, I'm not filtering a lot of different datas right now. So in just the city name, if I put Parkland, so I'm getting almost 170 matches, which contains 55 plus communities also. And if I eliminate 55 plus communities, then it's almost around 147, which is a really great data for single family houses in Parkland city. Because at some point in last 2-3 years market, we had this number around 80 or 70, and sometimes lower than that. So that's a really big change where the properties are staying longer in the market. And also now we are going to study what kind of price drops is happening in this Parkland city. So I'm going to start with the lower number first. So before we go deeper into, let's just give a glance look. So if you check this all red arrows are price drops. There are a couple of them increase. That's very, very what I call surprising. Let's see which one is this property and what is their mindset. Oh, I know this one. I've seen this one. We have put an offer. Actually, this one is in a market more than 400 days. Look at this, 475 days. Now, these sellers, I don't know what they are thinking about. They don't have even a view, and they want to have certain amount of money. They are international sellers. So I don't know, the price point wise, they are not, I think so it's a cash buy, and they don't care about it. The property stays in the market longer. So there is a little bit of price drop. Oh, I don't see any price drop. 749 was original price, is 815, now is 825. I actually put an offer at some point on this one for one of my investors, but it didn't work out because they were not even open to any negotiation. So anyway, that's one exceptional. Let's see some other pages. Look at this. Almost every other property has the price drop. Look at this. A lot of price drops you will find. It's all single family houses and all in Parkland area. So this is a big message. I'm going to study now random. I'm going to click and go into random properties and nothing pre-decided. And let's study what kind of numbers we are looking in the price drops. So if I go to the Parkland Bay, right? So Parkland Bay is one of the great new community you will find even 2022 build properties also. So this one, original price of 1.699 or close to 1.7, and right now they are at 1.5. And look at inside, it is a new properties, 2019 built, I believe. And this plan is amazing plan. It's a 2-story plan, and it seems like it does have a view too. So this kind of new property also gets suffering of this market, and we see this price. And look at this, there's a view too. So the view is bigger point in South Florida. When you have a view, most of the time the property doesn't suffer, especially in a good area. So if you see this 37 days in the market, so look at this. So that's a good number. They already kind of came down. Now I'm going to click another one. This is also newer community. Cascada is 2020 built. And let's see, they started around 1.99. I don't see a lot of change here, but I also see it's owner occupied. So when someone is owner living there, they may not have a plan B ready. And the vacant property normally has more motivation than, somebody living there. So normally when we put an offer, all those criteria we consider before we decide to put any numbers. In last 3 years market, trust me, it was so crazy and frustrating market actually, where you need to waive the inspection. We had to put even cash offers. So there was like a bridge loans we were getting for the buyers and still they were not getting. So having this kind of price drop, it's a big deal in Parkland City. Look at this property. It's so beautiful property. They are changing very slowly, but at the same time, this is a very brand new house with the pool, with the beautiful view. Look at this. So it's really amazing house with the 4,300 square foot. So it's great. So, but still, it's there in the market. So if you are a buyer and looking in a Parkland, this is a time to get more negotiation. Like if you're looking to get a deal, right, the price drops and everything. So deal is where the seller situations are tight. And the tight is like right now you see that this is for universal, for every sellers like media and everything. It's making it so hype about the price drops and the market crash. So that's affecting the sellers a lot. And that's why you see the very fast price drops. Normally, people reduce the numbers after 30 days. But in Parkland area, I've seen more than, like, if something is not giving a good traffic in 2 weeks, people start reducing the numbers. So they don't wait too long, especially in the Parkland area. So let me see, this one is 1.7. And this is 4,400, 1997. This is old Parkland. By the way, if you want to check out the old Parkland, new Parkland differences, there are a couple of videos what I have. You can check out on those links if you're looking, it's very early stage to learn about the city. So this is the old Parkland where have a bigger lots and the bigger houses also. So this is like a beautiful house, right? And compared to a house, the pool is small though. Look at the lot. It's a large lot and there is a little bit of water too. So this one, they started around 1.850 and right now they're 1.7. And how many days in market? 69 days. So it's pretty much good days in the market. So it does have a good room for negotiation. As time goes, people get frustrated more and more. So, that's kind of example. Let's see some lower numbers also. Like if you come in a Heron Bay, that's one of the very famous community here. 799, 2,200 square foot. That started around $899. It's almost $100,000 drop. $100,000, which is a big drop. Plus there is a view. Plus there's a private view a little bit. So it's still remodeled house. Nothing wrong. They put the money in. Heron Bay is a pretty old community, comparatively with the other communities. But, these guys have done the kitchen. They have done new floors, new bathrooms. So it's pretty much great money they have put it. There's no pool though, but it has a good view, good lighting, and good community. So it's $899 to $799 now. And how many days in market? 31 days. I told you guys, like, people started reducing the numbers. See, they started reducing on 15th. So, they don't wait too long, especially in the Parkland or Weston or Boca area, too much to reduce the numbers. Now let's see one or two other property and just try to get a rough idea. So this is Parkland, Gulf and County's beautiful community. They have a little bit of higher HOA though, but they do have a great amenities with the restaurants and everything. So it's 925, 2,200 square foot. The price, there is a little bit higher than Heron Bay because it's a little newer properties. And 955, that's what they started with. So it's not a big price drop. But at the same time, how many days in market? It's only 8 days. 8 days in a market, and they reduce almost 25,000 already. 8 days in a market, that's a big deal. That's really big deal. So a lot of times seller doesn't understand at the time. You put it in a market, but the traffic, that's what tells all the story, like what the property or what's the value, what's the market is doing. So property value, it's like judged by the traffic, how many buyers walks in, right? It's all about exposure. So these guys have realized soon enough. So it's 925. So it's almost 25,000 they reduced right away. And now let's see another one. Okay, I'm going to go for Parkland Isle. This is one of my favorite community. It's not a very new community, but at the same time, they have pretty much great advantages like bigger lots. I love bigger lots. So it's 938 and this is 968. So this is the third price drop. It's 950 and 33 days in market. 133 days. Wow. So that's a lot, many days. So they are slowly reducing the numbers with the view. Pool is small, but pretty much big lot. So, especially if you were active buyer, you must have experience, or if you are not, like, let me tell you something, last 2 years or 3 years market, with view or without view, doesn't matter. People were grabbing the property left and right. And even the non-remodel or remodel was not matter a lot. But now it does matter. Now really does matter how the presentation in the house. People are very skeptical with the numbers. That's when I said the negotiation happening pretty good, because, it's not kind of you're just giving the asking price, and that's how the market's getting stabilized, because how the graph went up, it's kind of coming to the ground. So it may not now. Let's understand a little bit on other stuff like stats. I'm going to show you some charts where you understand what kind of trends happening, especially in this comparatively last year. Let's say we don't go too further, but last year to this year also. So I'm going to, this is the active, days in the market versus the median list price. Okay. So if you come here, look at this chart. So this is days in a market, the green one, and the blue one is median list price. So if you just for our knowledge, you see this 2017, 2018, 2019 market, median list price is so high, in a Parkland area. And, it's I think data wise is more easier to understand. So look at this, 729 was the price, and the days days to sell, average was 24 days. So if you see average, before the pandemic started, 50, 60, 40, look at this days is all 2 digits number higher than 40 days, most of them. And as soon as this pandemic hit in March, right? So this days were more higher, and slowly market showing the changes. The numbers here, if you see, it's increasing from 700 to how fast it is increasing. And at some point in 2021 was 9 days, 8 days. Wow. 11 days. So it's a 1-digit number also started coming, and highest market was in around 1 million, in October 2021. So look at this, 21 days, 17 days. So now if you see 2022, July, 12 days, which are still fine, but August showed the big change. It's 23 days. Right? But the average price has not a lot of changes. Now let's talk about a little bit more deeper into crash stuff, right? So if you see the average price here, and look at this prices here. So I don't know what does it mean by it's going to crash, because it's a big gap on still it going to that previous prices, let's say around 2019, 2018, that would be really big jump, and up. I mean, it would be really surprising, honestly. So right now, what is happening is, in 2020 or 2021, the upper part of the number, nobody knew, because the people were bidding and multiple offers, bidding wars, those kind of made it messy market and you would not know the numbers. So the next seller, let's say whatever the 20% higher it got sold than the listing price, the next seller will put the more higher than that. And that's what created this increase on number drastically. And right now, those expectations are coming on the ground. So reduction is happening at right now. At the same time, it's coming average price is coming on slowly to some kind of adjustment level. So it's not increasing like before, but it has to come to some adjustment level.